Noor was King Hussein of Jordan's most cherished wife, despite having no royal lineage. Born and raised in America, she defied expectations to become the Queen of Jordan. However, after her husband's death, she withdrew from Jordanian royal life. What compelled her to leave the country, and where is she now? Stay tuned to uncover the remarkable story of this extraordinary woman. In 1978, King Hussein married a young American student, Lisa Najib Halabi. At the time, few believed the marriage would endure. The king was 43 years old, while Lisa was just 27. During the wedding ceremony, she wore a simple white dress that made her appear even younger. The king, with his wealth of life experience and a history of 3 failed marriages, seemed much older. Would this 4th marriage finally bring him lasting happiness? Many doubted the future of this relationship. The couple faced not only a significant age gap but also stark differences in their backgrounds. Lisa, who had no royal lineage, was born and raised in America. In contrast, King Hussein had ruled Jordan since the age of 16, hailing from the illustrious Hashemite dynasty and recognized as a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. How could 2 people from such different worlds build a lasting relationship? It was hard to imagine that this sweet American girl could transform into a true queen. Yet, against all odds, this marriage became the longest of the king's life. They shared 21 years together, a bond that might have lasted even longer had illness not claimed Hussein's life. Over the years, Lisa evolved from a simple American girl into Queen Noor, a powerful, influential, and deeply respected figure. But how did she, an ordinary young woman from America, rise to become the wife of a king? Lisa Najib Halabi was born in Washington, D.C., USA, to Najib Halabi and Doris Karlquist. Her father was of Syrian-Lebanese descent. Her mother was from Sweden. Lisa's great-grandfather, Elias Halabi, came to New York around 1891 and was one of the first Syrian-Lebanese immigrants. Lisa's father was a Christian Scientist and Navy experimental test pilot, an airline executive, and a government official. He is also known for making the first transcontinental jet flight in American history and his service as chairman of Pan Am from 1969 to 1972. As you can see, Lisa's family didn't have royal origins, but they were privileged, wealthy, and respected. They lived in America but remembered their Arab roots. This would subsequently help Lisa gain respect in Jordan. Lisa Najib Halabi received a bachelor's degree in architecture and urban planning from Princeton University. Then she moved to Australia, where she worked for a firm that specialized in planning new towns. Due to her Syrian heritage, Lisa has always been interested in the Middle East. After a year, she accepted a job offer from a British architectural and planning firm, which had been employed to design a model capital city center in Tehran, Iran. She then entered Columbia University's Graduate School of Journalism while taking a temporary aviation facility research job in Amman, Dajda. She accepted a position with Aliyah Airlines and eventually became Director of Facilities Planning and Design. At that moment, she met King Hussein of Jordan. Lisa and King Hussein first crossed paths in the winter of 1976. At the time, Lisa was accompanying her father, the chairman of the International Advisory Board for Royal Jordanian Airlines, to a ceremony marking the airline's acquisition of its first Boeing. It was there that she met King Hussein and his wife, Queen Aliyah. However, a devastating tragedy struck the Jordanian royal family just a year later. Queen Aliyah died in a helicopter crash, a loss that was monumental for King Hussein. Deeply in love with his wife, he had shared a life with her, raising 3 children, 2 biological and 1 adopted. This tragedy came after the king's earlier experiences with marriage. His first marriage in his youth was to his father's 3rd cousin, Princess Dina, with whom he had a daughter. King Hussein's second marriage was to Tony Gardner, a woman of British origin who became Princess Muna after their union. Together, they had 4 children, including their eldest son, Abdullah II, who is now the current King of Jordan. By the time he met his future 4th wife, King Hussein was already the father of 8 children from 3 different women. Additionally, he had 1 illegitimate son, Timothy, from his relationship with American actress Susan Cabot. In 1977, after the tragic loss of Queen Aliyah, King Hussein became a widower. Yet, his heart longed for new love. Lisa Halaby was the woman who brought joy back into his life and helped him move past his grief. Their meeting came about through a series of coincidences. By mid-1977, Lisa had been accepted into Columbia University School of Journalism, but received an intriguing job offer that changed the course of her life. The founder and chairman of Royal Jordanian Airlines offered Lisa a position leading a department responsible for coordinating the planning, design, and maintenance of the airline's facilities in Jordan and abroad. Lisa accepted the offer, a decision that would profoundly change her life. In April 1977, Lisa's father introduced her to King Hussein. During their meeting, the king discussed work-related topics with her. They quickly developed a mutual liking, and the following day, they had lunch together. Just a week later, King Hussein began courting Lisa, inviting her to Aqaba for a weekend with his children and friends. From that point on, they frequently spent time together at his residence, enjoying activities like watching movies, riding motorcycles, and even flying helicopters. What they enjoyed most was communicating and sharing their thoughts and emotions. Their romance blossomed quickly, perhaps too quickly, given that King Hussein had only recently lost Queen Alia, who passed away in February 1977. By April of the following year, the king met with Lisa's father and openly expressed his desire to marry her. Although deeply in love with the king, Lisa found the decision far from easy. He was 16 years her senior, had 9 children, and marriage to him meant converting to Islam and drastically altering her way of life. Reflecting on this in her 2003 memoir, Leap of Faith, Memoirs of an Unexpected Life, she admitted, "I will not deny that the idea of being his fourth wife or anybody's fourth wife was troubling to me." However, she agreed, and in June 1978, they celebrated their wedding. The event took place in the Zahran Palace in Amman. Before the traditional Islamic ceremony, Lisa converted to Islam and was named Noor al-Hussein, which means the light of Hussein. After the traditional ceremony, a grand celebration occurred, attended by 500 guests, the elite, worldwide. After the holiday, the couple got into a limousine and went on their honeymoon. Lisa Najib Halaby received the title of queen and became the first American-born queen of an Arab country. For this, she had to renounce her American citizenship. She was also in constant need of bodyguards, because King Hussein had survived more than 25 assassination attempts. "I had never imagined myself, nor aspired, to be a member of a royal family. I wanted to be in the Peace Corps, not a princess," she said in an interview. The Jordanian people had conflicted feelings towards the king's new wife. Some people were skeptical of her, believing that a Western woman would never be able to belong in Jordan. Others knew about her Arab roots and were glad the king could find new love after losing his previous wife. But young Queen Noor was truly captured the hearts of many people. Firstly, even at the wedding, she delighted the guests with her exquisite taste. Her wedding dress and hairstyle amazed everyone. Jordanians also sympathized with Noor when they learned she had adopted the king's children from his previous marriage. Noor established good relations with the children of the late Queen Alia and took over the royal house's management. "When I married, I was so touched and moved and heartened by the fact that I was responded to as an Arab returning rather than as a foreigner coming in and setting up shop," she said. Queen Noor gave birth to a son, Hamza, 2 years after the wedding. A year later, their second son, Hashim, appeared. Later, 2 daughters were born into the family, Princess Iman and Princess Raya. Contrary to the fears of many people who believed that Noor, who grew up Christian, would be an outsider in Jordan, she gained significant influence. Thanks to her Syrian grandfather, many considered her not a foreigner but an Arab who had returned home after the birth of her children. Queen Noor became actively involved in social work. Thanks to her, innovative programs for women and youth emerged in Jordan. Back in 1979, she founded the King Hussein Foundation, which is still involved in such vital issues as education, medicine, culture, and healthcare in Jordan. Queen Noor became known for her philanthropic work, including advocacy for children, promoting peace and the removal of landmines, protecting the environment from climate change, and advocating for cross-cultural understanding. Queen Noor also accompanied her husband everywhere, and supported him in everything. During their marriage, the king and queen were nearly inseparable. She stood by his side at ceremonial events, and political activities. They looked so happy together. This marriage was the most joyful and longest in the life of the King of Jordan. They lived together for 21 years, and they could have lived even longer if a terrible disease had not taken the king's life. In 1992, King Hussein was diagnosed with cancer and underwent surgery at the clinic in Minnesota to remove the cancer from his ureter and left kidney. The king struggled with a severe illness for 7 years. All this time, his beloved wife was next to him, who was a reliable support. The sickness brought them even closer. In 1998, the king was back at the clinic receiving treatment for lymphatic cancer. He also received a bone marrow transplant, but his body rejected the new organ. It was clear that there was no more hope. The king was gradually fading away. In this regard, the question of succession to the throne arose. Queen Noor, who by that time had enormous influence in Jordan, of course dreamed that her oldest son Hamza would become the next heir to the throne, or at least the crown prince. This arrangement was intended to help her maintain influence even after the king's passing. Indeed, before his death, King Hussein decreed that his eldest son with Queen Noor, Prince Hamza, would become crown prince, while his eldest son with Princess Muna, Abdullah II, would inherit the throne. However, after King Hussein's death in 1999, Queen Noor's position began to weaken. Abdullah II assumed power alongside his wife, Queen Rania. 5 years later, Abdullah stripped his brother Hamza of the title of crown prince, citing the claim that the role restricted Hamza's personal freedom. In reality, this move allowed Abdullah to secure his position by appointing his own son as crown prince, effectively eliminating any potential rivalry with his brother. With this, Queen Noor lost all hope that her children might ascend to positions of power in Jordan. Although she retained the title of queen, Queen Noor was no longer the de facto First Lady of Jordan, a role now held by Queen Rania. The dynamic between the two queens became untenable, making it impossible for them to coexist in the same palace. As a result, Noor left the country, though she continued her work with numerous international organizations. Queen Noor's position was further undermined in 2021 when her eldest son Hamza was placed under house arrest and stripped of his royal title after criticizing the Jordanian government. Noor staunchly defended her son, insisting the accusations were baseless. On Twitter, she wrote, praying that truth and justice will prevail for all the innocent victims of this wicked slander. God bless and keep them safe. This situation significantly strained Noor's relationship with the ruling Jordanian royal family. The rift was so deep that she did not attend Crown Prince Hussein's wedding in 2023. Queen Noor was compelled to leave Jordan, the country she had come to call home, and now resides between the USA and the UK. She maintains homes in London, her country residence at Buckhurst Park near Bowingfield in Berkshire, and in Washington. At 72 years old, Queen Noor remains active in public life. She continues to serve as a global humanitarian and a passionate advocate for international understanding. Additionally, she's a proud grandmother to 12 grandchildren. Since the passing of her husband, she has never remarried and continues to honor his memory. On occasion, she shares photographs of King Hussein on her social media, often accompanied by heartfelt messages of love. In her best-selling book, Leap of Faith, Memoirs of an Unexpected Life, Queen Noor describes the profound devotion she and King Hussein shared as nothing short of magical. "You don't look for that love. It finds you," she said. "And it found me through him, and I'm very blessed for it." Even 24 years after his passing, her love for him remains unwavering. Isn't that truly moving? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share your thoughts with me, click like, and subscribe. See you next time.